So Yoel Roth, let's talk about him for just a second here, because Yoel Roth is not just a liberal. He's not just a leftist who didn't like Trump. He was responsible for helping craft and then enforce terms of service, which originally, remember the first thing that Twitter did to censor President Trump? The first thing they did was not kick him off the platform. The first thing they did was add the little addendum underneath his tweets that labeled it as false or misleading information and that disallowed people from retweeting it. That was the first penalty box that they put Trump in. And Yoel Roth on Twitter or on LinkedIn stated that his job, that was his job to not only create those terms of service, but to enforce it. He publicly took responsibility in a proud way. He was proud of this. He was bragging about this. He publicly took responsibility for doing this, which shows me that it's not just a matter of, okay, he's liberal, who cares what his political views are if he's doing his job. In fact, there's a conservative by the name of Ian Miles Chong who tweeted that he agreed with Elon Musk's take on Yoel Roth. This is what Ian Miles said. He said, "This is the right attitude to take. If he's good at his job and he doesn't let politics in, it doesn't let politics get in the way of it, he should by all means keep it." And actually, I don't disagree with Ian Miles. Yeah, that's true. If he's good at his job and he doesn't let politics get in the way of it, then sure, who cares about his politics, right? Like, he's just an employee. He should do his job. The problem is, this is what I responded to Ian Miles. I said, well, he says on LinkedIn that his job is determining the terms of service that were related to censoring Trump tweets about election integrity and voter fraud. Isn't this literally the problem with Twitter? Creating and enforcing terms that deliberately target conservatives. If that is his job, then he should lose it. Yoel Roth is actually a perfect example of the problem at Twitter. When Twitter became this censorship apparatus, it was because people in power at Twitter, and Yoel Roth is one of them, used their political beliefs as justification to stifle and censor conservative viewpoints. It was all one way. It was all these liberal employees that were creating terms of service and stifling and censoring conservatives. It was never conservative employees at Twitter who were stifling liberals or liberal employees at Twitter who were stifling liberals. It was always censorship aimed just at conservatives. This is actually the textbook problem at Twitter. This is, if you had to distill the problem at Twitter, the censorship problem, into just a brief description, then Yoel Roth is a perfect description of that. So this is why it was such a head scratcher to me when Elon Musk tweeted that he thinks it's his sense that Yoel Roth is a person of high integrity and he supports Yoel Roth. Because I thought, listen, in November of 2016, this is what Yoel Roth tweeted. Quote, "I'm just saying, we fly over those states that voted for a racist tangerine for a reason." Okay, so this means that he didn't just think that Trump was a bad person, or he didn't just oppose Trump, which he's allowed to do. He's dismissing middle America, which means he's dismissing all the people that voted for Trump. He's dismissing us. He's dismissing half the country, saying that they're not even worth interacting with. Does this sound like someone who could be an objective arbiter of a neutral digital public forum? Well, no, of course not. In January of 2017, Yoel Roth tweeted, "Yes, the person in the pink hat is clearly a bigger threat to your brand of feminism than actual Nazis in the White House." And I know we're all a little desensitized to this baseless, false, heinous insult that is levied against us all the time by the left, calling us actual Nazis. We know that this is the left's height of escalation. This is their highest level of evil that they can accuse us of. And they overuse this. They've watered this down. They've demeaned this what actual Nazis really means. But it also shows you, from a moral standpoint, if you believe that someone is an actual Nazi, then almost any action that you take against them would be morally justified. And this is the problem, aside from it being untrue and heinous, when the left labels us as Nazis because we're conservative, it also shows us that they are willing to do anything to stop us because they feel morally justified, because they are viewing us the way that history views Adolf Hitler. It's actually their way of dehumanizing us. This is the part that Yoel Roth played at Twitter. This was his viewpoint, and he created terms of service and then enforced them against people who he viewed to be actual Nazis. This is the foundation of the censorship apparatus at Twitter.